there, and welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I am Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life.
Hey, Sandi.
Hey, Robin. How are you?
I'm doing great today.
Good.
You?
Yeah, I'm doing good. This is going to be a fun topic that I hope everyone will enjoy.
Yes, this is a fun one.
Yeah, we have some serious ones coming up, and this one is just for play, and I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so our topic is, would you like to introduce it?
Yes, our topic for this episode is where to find inspiration.
Yes.
Right? Because it's all over.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about things that we find inspirational, and we're going to look in non-obvious places.
Yeah, not Instagram, not Pinterest. Yeah, we've been kind of brainstorming and thinking, and we came up with some ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at first it was like, but then when you really start thinking about it, it's amazing, really, where all the inspiration can come from.
Right.
So, would you like to start?
Sure. My first one is flower gardens. And I don't mean like botanical flower gardens. I mean in people's yards. I like, the artisan handmade, your own personal gardens. And I like to see what people, what shapes they do and what kind of mulch they use for texture and colors and composition and scent. I mean, there's so much that can be found in a garden. True. So yeah, I love gardens. I love to photograph them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. What's your first one?
Okay, so my first one is retail stores, retail shops, specifically Anthropologie. I've mentioned that I've used their catalog and projects. I absolutely love their shop. Free People, Urban Outfitters, even Lush. And Lush is a kind of a millennial soap company. They're kind of edgy, and they have the coolest colors and bright, explosive designs. And I like to go in these stores not just to look at the displays and see the products, but also the fabrics, because fabrics have so much pattern and color to them as well. And I always like to take pictures of as much as I can in those stores. I mean, any kind of store, really. I mean, even sometimes the not so obvious stores can really be inspirational. So yeah, for sure.
That makes me think of something that's not even on my list, but I love the tags that are on products. They're so beautiful, like clothing. They're branded tags.
Oh yeah.
And they are gorgeous. That just made me think of that.
Yeah, and Anthropologie has some great ones. I did a tutorial, I don't remember when it was, where I took those tags and just created different projects with them. Save those tags. You can repurpose them and reuse them for all kinds of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I save them. A lot of them I hand off to other people because they do great things with them. But I always save them. Okay, that's cool. All right, my next one, catalogs. I especially love furniture design. Because they always do vignettes of rooms, so they're adding all these cool accessories to show off that beautiful couch, or throw pillows, and back to color, texture, pattern. Yeah, I love those. I cut them up a lot.
Yeah, and Anthropologie has a great one too. They do I don't know how often it comes out, but it's their home version, and it's all just home things. And
I've never seen that.
It's really nice. I don't think it comes out very often, but it's a good one. You probably would like it because it's got all the home stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one is, I just call them city trips for photography. Some of the main ones I've done is in St. Augustine, Florida, because it's very old and kind of vintagey, and Charleston, where I grew up most of my life there once my dad retired and settled there in his job. And then Savannah is a good one too. And then my brother used to live in South Georgia, and there was a city there, Valdosta, that I'd gone to. And I've done, in that city, I did all these old mailboxes. I couldn't believe the more I drove around how much stuff I found. It was,
That's so cool.
And it was very edgy. Like I took pictures of dumpsters, and I went into like areas that were, okay, I'm gonna look around, and it's abandoned warehouses and stuff. I had the best time, and I got so many great photos from that trip. And then of course in Charleston, St. Augustine, and Savannah, windows, doors, gardens, shutters. I love to peek through like the gates that are open, that you can look and see what's behind, where people are. I almost got hit by a van in Savannah when I was shooting. I was backing up, and then you hear the beep, and then the van goes by, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to be careful what I'm doing. Pay attention. You're in the road. So yeah, those are always great, and I love doing cemeteries too. That sounds kind of weird, but cemeteries can be beautiful, and they'll often have the greens and the trees. And there's one in Charleston I did a couple years ago that was just stunning. It was a beautiful cemetery. It had flowers growing, like wildflowers growing in it, and it was amazing. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, and you just never know. Looking back on, you could use those photos for sketching, for watercoloring, painting, or whatever. To use those as sort of a starting point. So yeah, so that's my second one.
Interesting. I could see even a jewelry artist, because they usually have such beautiful fences and gates there, wrought iron.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because that's a design. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, my next one is small town Main Street window displays.
Ooh.
Yeah. I love, we're still in North Carolina. We're in a small town which has a fabulous main street, and they really pride themselves on their window displays, and they're beautiful. And boy, you want to draw me in? Put some Christmas decorations.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because I'm a sucker for anything Christmas. So I love displays. Tons of ideas about composition and color and everything.
Well, and you do December Daily every year.
I do.
So what a great way to kind of
get inspired.
It's window display, but you are laying out and doing a design in your book and in your project. So that would be a great way, and even just the displays.
Yeah, or just to get colors or trends. Trends. Is this a rustic, or is it going towards that blue, silver, gold thing that's real popular? What color's the red? Are they substituting pink for red? Cool things. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Okay, well, you stole my thunder a little bit on the first one, but I do have garden centers and botanical gardens on my list. Okay. Because often when we're traveling, I like to, if I have time, steal away into a garden center or a botanical garden. There's one I went to, and I can't remember the name of it. It was in California when I was visiting earlier this year, and it was amazing. I mean, it was a destination. I mean, just from everything from... What's really popular in California are succulents, more so than Florida. I mean, they're everywhere. They use them in landscaping. They're beautiful. But they had all these different sections and displays, and they had not just the live plants, but they had artificial, beautiful flowers and greenery. Wow. And their displays were just... it was really nice. And then the pots and the designs on the pots.
Pots.
Yeah. So there's, in fact, I took a lot of pictures while I was there, and there's a lot of inspiration in that too. Absolutely. And then when they decorate for Christmas, you get double.
Yeah, because then you get to smell it too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of my favorite smells. It's all that fresh pine. Okay, my next one, coffee table books. My husband usually gets me some sort of coffee table book for Christmas. Usually finds it at a discount store. A lot of times it's Home Goods here in the U.S. And he just finds really interesting books. This year it was all about foraged florals. Oh. So it was really cool, like woodsy, mossy, really cool stuff. Not your fancy bouquet. It's just real earthy stuff. And that was really cool. So I love those.
Have you pulled anything out of that, like color palettes? Do you use it for that sometimes too?
Yeah, I use it as reference when I watercolor.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, because that's not something that like we see in Florida.
No.
That's really different kinds of plants. And yes, I absolutely do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So my fourth one is, and this came about because of... Recently, I did the 100-Day Project. I'm going to say repurposing old work or refreshing old projects.
Ooh,
because
cool one.
When I was working on my project for the 100-Day Project, it evolved a little bit as I was going, and then I started pulling from like journal pages that were loose or something I started and didn't finish. And I started looking at those thinking I could repurpose those into other things. And then more ideas evolved from that, where I was piecing together these little small collage stitched bits that I was then using. And I was like, this is kind of a cool idea, because we all have these really old projects, maybe years and years, and you're kind of going, well, what am I going to do with this? How about mail art that you've received? Things that you get from other people that you're like, well, what am I going to do with it? I've enjoyed it. It's been on my inspiration board, but now, so I really have been enjoying doing that. And it's been sparking ideas just by doing that, repurposing old stuff and reworking projects.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the 100-Day Project for people who aren't artists or don't do it?
Okay. Well, in the 100-Day Project, it's every year, usually around the first week of April. And it's open to anyone who wants to do it. You don't have to sign up for it, but you choose an action. So that action can be anything, and you do it every day. So your action could be that you take a photo every day. It could be that you write a poem every day. You might, I don't know, cook something every day or, something different or unique. It's not necessarily artists. It could be, it's obviously something creative, but I mean, you could just do a sketch if you wanted every day. And so I chose, originally it was going to be like small works or something. And I thought, well, I'll do all kinds of different small things. And then it started evolving into these little tiny booklets that like a little flip book.
Right.
And then I was using up more scraps and things I had. And then it just kind of kept going from there. But it really generated a lot of ideas. And again, I was pulling from other projects and recycling and repurposing things. So yeah, but it's open every year, free to everybody. 100 days is a big commitment to do something every day. This year, 2019 was my third year doing it, and I had the most fun with it this year, I think.
That's cool. I also did it. It was my first and last year doing it. I did leaves, and I really enjoyed it, but 100 days is way too long for me. We've discussed that before.
Yeah, it is a big commitment.
It's a huge commitment, but it's cool. I've seen people sewing and gardening and baking, and it's really interesting.
And it doesn't have to be anything huge. It shouldn't be huge. I have not limited myself. I've been huge. It seems like all 3 years it was something kind of big, but it... you want it to be something manageable and something you can do. And if you miss a day, you miss a day. If you're late, it doesn't matter, know. And then generally we post on Instagram, and things are shared on Instagram, and then you just tag it. So it's great. I've met a lot of, you've connected with people that you enjoy what they're doing, and then you kind of look forward to seeing what they're doing, whatever that day is. So yeah.
So community building.
That's right.
Yeah, we have been
talking about it. Yeah.
So that's a cool way of doing it.
It is.
Okay, is it my turn or your turn?
It is. Your last one.
Okay. Mine is YA fantasy books. I know. Are you surprised?
Okay, tell them what YA is, just in case.
Right, young adults. So in my later years, I've discovered young adult books for the first time. When I was the age when I should have been reading them, I jumped to adult books. So now that I've read tons and tons of adult books, I'm going back to YA. But it was really interesting, these fantasy books. It's all about world building. So it's very different and fantastical. And, it really opens your imagination to things that we wouldn't find in our own world. So that's been really cool for me. And I've done a bunch of pieces that have been inspired by it. Things floating in air. And different planets and weird colors on things. And
that's cool. I read a lot, but I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I don't read a lot of young adult, but I know you've recommended some, and I have, and I confess I did read the Twilight series, but with everybody else in the world. But that's great. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because some writers, they're so...
Their imagination is
and they can paint that picture as if you're really there. So, good. I like that one too.
Okay, what's yours?
My last one is similar to your coffee table book, but specific. 2 books specifically related to color.
Okay.
The author is Tricia Guild, and her first one, the one I got, was called Tricia Guild on Color. It is a fantastic book for color inspiration. I mean, I can't even tell you what these pages are like. I'm wondering still if it's out of print. I don't even know if these books are in print. The other one is Tricia Guild on Pattern, where it's much the same thing. But if you're going to design, but just from a creative standpoint, whether it's sketching or watercolor or painting or just coming up with palettes and just kind of looking at it, they are stunning books. And I don't remember who recommended.
Where did you find it?
Well, the first one I got Tricia Guild on Color I bought years and years ago, but you can get them on Amazon. However, I don't know if they're out of print, so it may be like you're getting it from a secondhand seller.
Okay.
But I have seen them recently on
I'm going to go
Amazon.
Check that out.
Wow. They're
Is
really
it a
beautiful.
coffee table style?
Yes,
So
yes,
big.
yes. In fact, one of them, the Tricia Guild on pattern, and again, it's the one I have. It has this beautiful pink book jacket with this, what do you call it? It's like a flocking, an embossed design on it that's got the flocking. I mean, you can feel it. It's just really, really pretty.
Is that G-I-L-D?
Yes, it's G-U-I-L-D.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, Tricia, Tricia Guild on Color. And we can put that in the show notes. Just make a note of it down there for you guys. But I highly recommend it. Take a look if you can find it online. Or even in a secondhand bookstore, you might find it there. I think I got one of these, maybe it was years ago at Powell's, which is that's a West Coast store. I don't think we have those. I think it was in Seattle. It's one of those really big bookstores you go to where you turn books in and then you get credits and then you get books and stuff. Right. But keep your eyes peeled for those guys if you're really looking for something that's just amazing color and pattern. So she's got other books too.
Sounds interesting.
But those are my two favorites. So
awesome.
Well, there we go.
That was a cool thing. And you know what I think it does is, like, just listening to yours, it's opened up my mind to new places to look for inspiration because we can get outside of our devices and actually go into the world and find things.
Yes, we can.
Sometimes I forget to.
Yeah, well, when you're a homebody and you're kind of just comfy in your house, it's like, wait a minute, there's a big world out there with lots of beautiful things that inspire me. Yeah. Yeah.
So I personally would love to hear other people, like, what are some of the, a little bit different.
Yeah. Off the beaten path kind of things.
Ways that you find inspiration. Yeah. So go to our Instagram feeds and find this show. And we would love to see where you're finding inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially people who are makers and not artists. Like, where do you go for inspiration? That would be so cool to hear.
Right. Yeah.
So we'd love to know.
Good. All right. Good show.
Fun.
Good episode. All right. We'll see you next time, guys.
All right. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandykeene.com and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.